And good evening, and welcome to the iROC Challenge Series Mini Season 2. We're at round 4 here tonight at Charlotte Dirt Track. So tonight's going to be a little bit different. The only dirt track on the calendar. It's a short quarter-mile dirt track. Very tight turns, going to be a challenging race in these trucks. I believe I was describing it earlier, they drive sort of like lawnmowers on this track. But the guys are out there practicing right now. Qualifying will begin in just a couple minutes, and we will have heat racing formats tonight. But nevertheless, we'll be bringing you the action here. Got Brian McCann up here in the booth with me. How's it going, Brian?
I'm not so sure that they drive like lawnmowers, because the difference being when I let the front air out of my tires on my lawnmower, it actually does turn better.
That is a very good point. Getting these trucks to rotate here is a bit of a challenge. And then there's a very fine line of, once you do get it to rotate, rotating it too much. But very good point there. So, oops, sorry about that. So while we get ready for qualifying, just bring up the schedule here. So we are on round 4 out of a 5-round series here. So Bristol will be going to Bristol next week. That is Bristol asphalt, not Bristol dirt. 75 laps, and that'll round out the mini season. But we've got a pretty tight points battle on our hands here, so we'll pull up the points. So far we've got Cody Harger and Aaron Smith actually tied for first place with 74 points. Joshua Funkhauser and Steve Singer third and fourth. And then we've got a tie for the 5th place spot there with Doug Wysocki and Eric Dotson. And then you'll notice that Carson Conway is only 1 point off of those guys, so very tight there. And then Austin Trent only 5 points off of that 5th place spot there. But I do believe, just looking at the roster tonight, Austin Trent did not make it. So that's probably, if he's got a couple more minutes to make it in. And
Carson Conway, Doug Thomas, and Matt Kopp are the ones that are fighting their way for points tonight.
Yep, on all 3 of those guys are here. Yep, Matt Kopp, Doug Thomas, and Carson Conway. Yep. So we'll switch over here as they start to grid up for qualifying. Qualifying will set their starting position for the heat races. There will be, I believe, let's just count the number here. We might have 3 heat races tonight, and that'll set the starting order for the final, which will be, how many laps is it, Brian?
The final is 40 laps.
40 laps. Awesome. All right, and we've got somebody out on track here. Let's ride along with Eric Dotson as he goes out for his qualifying. I believe he was one of the fastest in qualifying, either 2nd or 3rd. Taking that high line there. I believe that's on the track did reset, so on a fresh track, I believe that high line is preferred. But as the track slicks up, we should see some different grooves opening up. Erickson Dotson's in 2nd place after that lap there. Cody Harger sitting on pole right now. See if he can improve on his time, and he does not. Right on board here with Doug Thomas. And Thomas gonna come across the line in 6th place there. And while we were watching him, Doug Wysocki set 5th place time there as well. And then, as I
And
said, Cop takes it away.
Just watching the front steering angle on these trucks, it just the nose is just plowing.
Yes, just plows. And there's just really nothing you can do. This latest update, the latest build that they did for these dirt tires on these stock cars, just added way too much grip. In fact, I did some truck races. Well, I did truck and cup cars at Bristol Dirt, a few weeks ago when it came out and it was in the official rotation. And the trucks were wide open the entire time. You never lifted. And the reason for that is that's the only way you could get the truck to rotate, because if you lift, you're just going to go straight into the wall.
But you were at an angle with the rear end hanging out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you were able to do that because I guess it just has to do with like the speed. You could flick it going into the turn really well because you're carrying so much speed and get that rear end to rotate around. Oh, we got Aaron Smith here, who did not set a practice time. And he's the guy we're going to watch tonight, who is one of the leaders in the points. Let's see what kind of time he can throw down.
And from the session data, this is his first lap?
Yes. No previous lap times from him. And he throws up 3rd place with his first lap. So I noticed he was running the bottom lane, whereas our pole sitter and 2nd place both did the top lane. And I believe this track does have, yes, it does have some progressive banking on it. So that bottom lane is flatter than the top lane. And it looks like he's going to carry on this. He's done his laps that count, but it looks like he's just out there getting some practice because he did not turn a practice lap. That'll do it for qualifying. So first heat race up, it'll be 4 drivers. We've got the 66 of Harger, the 7 of Funkhauser, 34 of Wysocki, and 72 of Carson Conway. While we wait for them to grid up, let's talk about dirt, Brian. Me and you both have been doing that. The iROC Challenge series also has a dirt league. That's our first time at dirt. So we've been running that. We're pretty far into that now. We're running the big block modifieds, but just tell me what are some of the major differences between asphalt and dirt racing and iRacing?
For dirt, your sound is a lot more important.
That's true.
Like for pavement racing, you can almost turn the sound off and everything's off of visual cues, but in dirt, it seems like it's more off of sound.
Yeah, for controlling the tire spin and being able to launch off there. All right, they're gonna go take the green here. Funkhauser pretty far ahead there coming up to the line, but looks like he's gonna fall back. And they're off. Good jump there by the 66 of Harger, so he gets out to a nice lead. Ooh, and the 7 of Funkhauser got into the wall a little bit there on the exit. Harger has already stretched his lead out to a little over 1 second, so I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch him in this heat tonight. But let's jump on back to the 72. Conway dropping down to the lower part of the track there, so taking a little bit of a different line than the other guys. Let's see if he can hold off Wysocki for 6 to go. He's actually catching up to Funkhauser running this different line, so he may be able to snag second place here.
One neat thing that I'm watching Cody do, when he goes in a turn, he blocks his brake up to get that truck to slide.
Yep, brake bias on the setup was about 50%, I believe, so that is one of the methods you can use to get the truck to rotate, is to use the brake. And when I was out there turning some practice laps, I actually found trail braking to be very beneficial, which typically in the other dirt cars, you hardly ever touch the brake, especially mid-turn. You don't even think about trail braking, so...
yeah, what he's doing is a little bit past trail braking. His wheels are coming to a stop on the entry.
Just watching this battle here between the 72 of Conway and Wysocki here as it's heating up. Maybe we'll get up there and we'll take a look at what you're talking about. They spread out just a little bit. Yeah, so they have spread out. Let's see if we can watch. Yep, I heard him let off the throttle there and lock that brake up. Let's go on board. Find the right camera view. Alright, so we're riding on board 66 of Harger. Yep. You can hear him lock it up. Lock the rear brake up going in there and getting the truck rotate. That's actually one thing I didn't try. Kudos to him for figuring that. If anybody else has got friends of the drivers watching, go on and tell them the secret, because we want to see some close racing tonight. So it does look like we are going to have 3 heats tonight. So in the second heat coming up here, we've got 3 drivers: Eric Dotson, Matthew Kopp, and Doug Thomas. So back to what we were talking about, sound being very important. So more so than on asphalt. Completely agree. And the main thing that you're using the sound for is to be able to tell if you've got too much wheel spin, not enough, if you're getting that acceleration off of the turn, because in sim racing you're missing that the acceleration force, the G forces of being able to sense that. So you have to do it pretty much all off of visual and sound cues. I think one of the things I like about dirt, it's unique to dirt more so than asphalt. I mean, asphalt has a little bit, but just the dynamic state of the track, right? And you'll see it tonight. The guys are starting out on one line, primarily the high line. That track's going to slick up. It's going to, that top line's going to get real slick, and you're going to see these guys just trying all different kinds of lines tonight, because that track is going to be constantly changing.
Yeah, and that does help with that track state changing around, whereas in asphalt it's strictly one lane the whole race.
Ooh, and as we got started there, the 87 had to check up there. He almost got into the back of the 22. These guys are already much closer than our first group. We've already got some side-by-side action, and the 87 is going to go around the outside of 22 there. Can he make this pass stick? I believe he's going to get it. let's ride on board the 22 here, Matthew Kopp. You can see he's got full left lock on the steering wheel there, going into the turn. Just trying to get it to rotate.
It's like trying to rain race in a go-kart.
Pretty much. Now I'm noticing, I'm riding on board of Doug Thomas, it almost sounds like he's in third gear. Oh, and he hits one of the tires there on the inside of the track and flips, unfortunately. As they come around, 2 to go, we've got the 87 of Dotson out front. He's actually about ready to lap the 5 of Thomas, who's in third, and then the 22 of Kopp is in second place, about 4 seconds back. That'll wrap up the second heat there, and we'll move on into the third and final heat of the night, which will set our starting order for the main event. Switch back over to the 40 laps. That's what I wanted to see. The main event will be 40 laps. So I'm seeing a name on the scoreboard I don't recognize. It looks like we've got a new driver tonight. The number 4 of... Oh gosh. I'm gonna leave... I'm gonna let you pronounce that one first, Brian.
Give me a car number.
Number 4.
Neville?
Yeah, I got that one. The last name.
I don't know about the last name.
All right, we'll call him Neville. That's easier. So we've actually got Aaron Smith, Steve Singer, and Neville in this one.
If he wins, we can ask him.
It looks like he actually didn't grid up. So there's 2 guys out here tonight. So we got Steve taking on the points leader. The number 70 there of Smith, so this might be a good race. Both of these guys are fast. We're gonna come around and take the green here and start this 8-lap heat. And Steve's going to have a bit of a run here initially on this outside line if Aaron can come up and take that, and he does to take that high line away. So let's see what Steve does. Does he fall in line right behind, or does he, go for that good old slide job? A little bit of a mistake there. I think he got into the outside wall just a little too much. Couldn't quite get the truck to rotate. And Aaron's going to stretch the lead out to over 2 seconds. Aaron's putting down some lap times that are really good. Faster than we've seen all night, actually. We're in a 17.8 there on that second lap, and the fastest we saw in practice and qualifying, I believe, was a 18.0.
Well, as the track slicks in, that'll allow it to rotate more, right?
Yes, that is true.
So your lap times will probably be improving.
Yeah, well, I guess at a certain point, I really only practice on a new track and like a really worn out track just to see what the setup was like. And on a really worn out track, I believe I was about four tenths slower than on a new track. Since Steve is, or no, we're on board with Aaron right now. Sorry. He's wide open just about the whole way and keeping it nice and rotated, doing that little flick on entry.
Even coming off the turn, he'll point it towards the wall for a little bit, and then times it just perfect.
Yeah. Some really good driving we're seeing right here. He's two different driving styles between, Harger we saw just locking up the rear to get it to rotate, whereas Smith here is using the throttle to get it to rotate, and the steering obviously. He's doing that, the little flick where you flick it right and then flick it back left just to get it to rotate. So there's going to be a 5-minute warm-up session here, and then the guys will grid up for their main event, 40 laps. So just watching them get warmed up here, I'm noticing a couple slick patches starting to crop up, mostly on the entry to the turns, a little bit on the exit in that high line, but it still looks like that's the preferred line. Most of the guys up there running that top line. But while we were just watching them there, Eric Dotson throws down a very impressive lap. Right now, outrunning Smith and Harger, who were also the most throwing down impressive laps. So very pleased to see that. Eric must have figured out something there in between those heats, and you can do that sometimes. You especially if you're one of the first few to go, you watch the others as heat races develop and see what they're doing. Go out there and try it. So that's one of the good purposes of these warm-up sessions, is go out there and try something new, and lo and behold, it's working out for him. it is nice to see the top four all within 3/10 of each other. So we should see some interesting racing tonight. I like what I'm seeing here. I'm just watching a battle between Steve Singer and the 66 of Harger slide jobbing each other. I love seeing that. They're just crossing each other over. It looks like they've settled down now, but I hope we see a lot of that in the race tonight. You know a thing or two about slide jobs, huh, Bri?
No. I like to watch them. I like to watch you do it.
Yeah. Who finished ahead of who in the last dirt race? Refresh my memory there.
I have excuses.
All right, so starting order tonight as they grid up. Hopefully I can get this to work. Yeah, it does work. So starting order will be first place Cody Harger, second place Eric Dodson, third place Aaron Smith. And actually Cody Harger and Aaron Smith are currently tied for first place on the points. Fourth, we've got Joshua Funkhauser. Fifth, Matthew Copps. Sixth, Steve Singer. Seventh, Carson Conway. Eighth, Doug Thomas. Then 10th there, Doug Wysocki. And then we've got Neville, but I don't believe Neville's gridded up. No, he's not. You got a pick for tonight, Brian? Give him the old broadcaster curse.
Funkhauser because everybody else is going to wreck in front of him.
Ooh. That's not a bad
I
play.
think there's going to be some action.
I believe we might see some caution flags tonight. Yep. I'm going to go with Eric Dodson. He surprised me in the warm-ups there. We haven't talked about him much tonight, but in the warm-ups he was flying, so I think he's going to pull a surprise here tonight. All right, they're coming around to take the green here. This restart will be on the green flag. Any additional restarts will be at the leader's discretion. We've already got some 3-wide action almost there. Aaron Smith taking the bottom line and going to take away second place there from the 87 of Eric, who got into the wall a little bit, but Funkhauser putting the pressure on the 87 of Dodson. Oh, there's just too much going on. I can't keep up with it all. Aaron Smith there got into the wall a little bit. Got a nice 5-car battle here on back 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Steve Singer taking that bottom line. Gonna slide up into 22. No, he stays down. Oh, and
We got a spin in third.
87 of Dotson there got just a little loose, and he collects it. He keeps going. Right, they're starting to settle down now, but we still got this battle here between the 72 of Conway and Singer. Conway taking the low line, Singer taking the high line. So getting real close up here at front. We got about 6/10 or about a second cover the top three.
Ooh,
And
they make contact.
a little contact there. So let's see what's going on here. I believe 66 of Harger is just driving a totally different style than Smith, whereas Smith's staying in throttle the whole time. Harger's checking up to get the truck to rotate. And as that unfolds, the 7 of Funkhauser is all over the back bumper there of 70.
And once you get these cars out of that perfect slide, they just lose all their momentum.
Yep, that's where my lawnmower analogy came from. You're just kind of along for the cruise at that point. So Smith kind of falling back here on Harger, and as Funkhauser challenges the second place position here. Just looks like the 70 of Smith's just struggling right now. I think that top line has gotten slicker and just not able to get that drive off. And you actually, if we go on down to Cody Harger here, yeah, you can see he's diamonding the turn, kind of staying off that top line now where that slickness is not at, so he's able to get a really good drive off. Pull up some lap times here. They're running pretty even lap times, so and we just missed a pass. Looks like Steve Singer is going to take away the 4th place spot there from Matthew Kopp. And Carson Conway is now also looking to take position away from Kopp. I believe Conway's been on the bottom the entire night. Not seen him go around the top side yet. Oh, there's going to be some contact there. Yep. Oh, but they do collect it and keep going.
And Conway is one fighting for the points, so he just got put back a few positions there.
See the 87 of Eric Dodson fighting his way back up. He was involved in very early spin with Funkhauser, I believe. So far tonight, it doesn't look like anyone's got anything for Harger here, as long as he keeps it clean. Doesn't make any mistakes. You see the line he's taken. You can see that the more, what do we want to call it? It looks more like clay part of the track. The brighter part of the track there, that is fresh track there. It's not been run on as much. So a lot more grip down there, but whereas you see up top where it looks darker, that is the slick stuff. So you can see Cody Harger there just staying on that brighter part of the track with more grip. Whereas we see Aaron Smith up there running right up against the wall. So there is I believe the official term there, right up against the wall is called the cushion, where all that dirt's kind of compacted there, and you can get your right rear tire in that, right side's in that, and there's a lot of grip. But you've got to be careful running that line because you're just inches away from the wall.
Threading the needle, and he's been hitting the wall a whole lot, and that's what's kind of generated that gap between them.
Yep, we've seen quite a few tracks where running up right against the wall, and that cushion there is the fastest line, but also the riskiest. I've actually blew a win myself. I was leading dirt race. and hit the wall running that line. But we've got a caution out. Let's see what that's for. Oh no! Looks like Steve Singer involved in an accident. Let's check this out.
Appears to be a self-spin.
Yep, just got loose going in there, and Matthew Kopp just got into him, but don't see any smoke coming off of the 22. We'll check that out. Yeah, no smoke, so he may be okay. Actually, as I say that, I do see some smoke coming out now, so I believe he's going to need to take a quick repair. May have some engine damage. Or maybe the new dirt spray is just playing tricks with me. Yeah, it's the dirt spray, never mind. He should be good. I tell you, not too bad there. We went, how many laps did we go there, caution free? About 22 laps. Not a bad run. And it does look like Matthew Kopp did go in and take his quick repair to get that damage fixed. He's going to be starting in the tail end of the line here, but he will have a brand new truck. Nice jump there from Cody. But Aaron's hanging in there. Again, they're running the same lines they were before. Cody going down low, Aaron running high. Ooh, and Cody went just a little too high there, but it didn't seem to slow him down too much.
Watch that third, fourth, and fifth.
Yep. Got 87, 7. 4-car battle here. Oh yeah, Funkhauser's truck. You can definitely see he's been using that wall to rotate. The whole right side of this truck is just obliterated.
Yeah, racing on dirt, you shouldn't expect to have any good body panels left.
Nope, they're just for cosmetic purposes at this point. But this caution sure was good for the 87 of Dotson. That's going to allow him to hopefully gain some spots back, as he was involved in that early accident. Right, so it looks like they're, well, as I say that, the 72 is starting to catch up with Steve Singer there. He just got into the wall hard. He pretty much rode the wall the entire turn there. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the 72 of oh man, I gave him the broadcaster curse. As I say that, he spins. But I was going to say I was really impressed with how consistent he was running on that bottom side tonight. And he just, as I was saying that, he drove a little bit too hard, too deep into there, and got loose and spun out, and that's going to bring out the second caution. So, let's see, we've got 66 of Harger still in the lead, 70 of Aaron Smith following him. Joshua Funkhauser in third, and fourth, who's worked his way back up to fourth now, is Eric Dodson. So he's the biggest gainer here of this these two cautions. Doug Wysocki is our biggest mover of the night. He's up 4 positions from where he started. I believe he started last. Currently running 6th place. Alright, I'm going to put the camera here on 3rd, 4th, and 5th because that seems to be where the action on these restarts happens. And as I say, that big accident in the front stretch. Oh, did it throw the caution? Okay, good. Well, maybe we were going to have to throw a manual one there. Big accident. So let's go back and check. Looks like, yeah, Funkhauser and Dotson. Yep, just Funkhauser comes up the track and just runs into Dotson. Nowhere he can go, and that collects. Ooh. Doug Wysocki and Carson Conway actually got into that as well.
And I was just right when I was looking at that incident. Carson Conway is racing Wysocki and Eric Dodson tonight for points. So if he would have made it through that wreck clean, he would have been sitting pretty good.
Good point. Just watching the guys. They're trying to get on pit road here, and hey, pit lane on these dirt tracks is very confusing. They're having trouble locating their pit box to get that quick repair.
Yeah, you have to pull up to the guy with the flag just right.
I believe Wysocki found it there. Carson Conway's still searching for his. While he's still in the pits, unfortunately, they are going to take the green flag here. Oh yeah, big gainer from that tonight, that last caution there. Steve Singer up to 3rd place right now. He tries to hold off the 87 there of Eric Dodson. We'll take the final lap here, white flag lap. Cody Harger in the lead, Aaron Smith second. We got a good battle here between the 87 of Dotson and 6 of Singer. Dotson's going to take that low line. Can he make the slide job work? Oh, it's going to be close. Nope, Steve gets him. So Steve's going to finish 3rd there. Dotson in 4th, 5th Funkhauser, 6th Thomas. And then we've got Kopp, Wysocki, and Conway. Very interesting race there, but Cody Harger, I'll have to check here. How many wins does he have? He had 1 win coming into tonight, so that's going to be a 2nd win. Right, we'll give the guys a few minutes. We'll bring them in for some interviews. Like we've got Steve, so we'll bring Steve on up. Hey Steve, it's Kevin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Kev, how are you?
Hey, doing well. So, third place finish tonight. Looks like those cautions there at the end definitely helped you. You came out on the good end of those. Let's just say that. Advanced a few positions and coming home with a third place finish. How did you feel tonight?
Well, causing one caution myself certainly didn't help. The next caution definitely helped me get caught up a little bit. But practice with our guys earlier on, I ran better with the track a little bit more wore in. A real green track I didn't really care for. So truck kind of came along to me as we went along and got a little bit better. I didn't have nothing for Aaron or Cody. Those guys were lightning tonight, but wasn't as bad as I expected it to be.
Yeah. We expected the track to slick up a little bit more than it did. I believe we just didn't have enough trucks out there going around tonight, so Um, it didn't slick up as much as we would have liked to see, but we did see some multi-groove racing. I believe it looked like you preferred the top line tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, top was best for me just because I really didn't have a lot of luck getting the rear end to come around going into corner entry. I just kind of coasted in and then let the throttle turn it coming off. So maybe it's not conventional, but it seemed to work.
Yeah, we actually noticed the most interesting thing we saw tonight was the 66, the winner tonight, Cody Harger, was actually locking up the rear brake on entry to get it to rotate. Um, we didn't see anybody else doing that tonight, so it was very unique. But it did look like everybody was just struggling to get that truck to rotate. Just felt very tight. We saw everybody with a lot of will in it going into the turns, but still some interesting racing tonight.
Yeah, I saw Cody doing that in the heat race, and it's something that I experimented with a little bit too. I just dialed in a ton of rear brake to it. It worked. It definitely got the car to rotate on entry, but it wasn't as stable feeling as far as keeping the thing clean throughout the run. So I didn't want to go down that road.
I understand that sometimes you gotta run what feels more consistent. I've been the unfortunate victim of that. I threw a race win away the other night, running a line I wasn't comfortable with, and ended up putting it in the wall. So completely understand there. But third place finish tonight for you. Let's just check on the points here. Yeah, you're sitting really good on the points. You came in tonight fourth. You finished 2 positions ahead of Funkhauser, who was trailing you in the. No, I'm sorry. Funkhauser was ahead of you in the points. Wysocki was behind you, and he had a rough night. So um, that gap's only gonna grow further. So it looks like you're well into the top 5. So you just got to have a nice consistent finish next week, and it looks like you're gonna qualify into season 3.
Well, that was the goal for tonight. Was a clean top five, and we did it a couple of positions better. So I'll take the win. Not the win, but it's a win overall.
Definitely. All right, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Castle Products, they're again riding on the truck this week. Appreciate them and supporting us. My daughter Madison, who I believe is again watching the stream every week, she tunes in and says, "Hey, you're racing tonight." So I want to say hi to Madison and thank you guys for putting this on and the broadcast and the league and everything else. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, and again, congratulations on that third place finish, and we'll see you next week at Bristol.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, Aaron, it's Kevin in the booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Hey, congratulations on that second place finish tonight. It was a very interesting race. We saw you mostly sticking to that top line tonight, whereas the winner of the race sort of dropped down low later in the race. But just walk us through. How'd you feel tonight? We noticed a lot of people struggling. Did you struggle? How did that truck feel?
Well, it felt great until the top line started to rubber in. It felt really good in the heat, so I tried to replicate that success in the main, but he was digging on the bottom there, and I couldn't really replicate that either. So it all came down to just keeping the car clean and finishing the race.
Yeah, we noticed in the heat races there, you really made that top line work. You were able to just seem like you stayed in the throttle, were able to flick it into the turn and get it to rotate. Um, but as soon as more laps got down there in the main, we noticed that sort of coming away from you. But nevertheless, second place finishes, nothing to frown about. Let's just, I want to check the points really quick. Yeah, so you were actually tied with Cody Harger points wise coming into tonight for first place. So it looks like he's going to creep ahead of you just a little bit there going into next week. But we do have one more round, Bristol, some short track racing. How do you feel about that?
I'm looking forward to it. If we get any green flag pit stops, then I should be able to have an edge, but we'll see then.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, green flag pit stops are my favorite. It really separates the field. Being able to make a fast green flag pit stop in these trucks is, I like to say it separates the men from the boys. So looking forward to that race. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I'd like to thank the folks at the iROC Challenge for putting this show on, y'all for broadcasting, and everyone for watching. Looking forward to Bristol.
All right. And again, congratulations on that second place finish. And we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Cody, it's Kevin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, doing well. Congratulations, coming home first place tonight. I believe you just flat out dominated this race. You started first, finished first. Just walk us through how did you prepare for tonight? And how did it feel tonight?
I turned my first laps with the setup that was given to us yesterday morning, and I was panicked when I did that. I was like, "Oh God," because this setup drives completely backwards than what I was expecting out of the truck, and so we had to go deep into the toolbox and try to figure out what to do to make a lap. And even when I kind of figured out what I was going to do, I wasn't confident if it was going to be fast. I just knew that I can make close to the same lap every lap, and it was what I was most consistent with. And I was like, well, consistency should bring me a top 5 no matter what the speed is. So that's all we were shooting for, is just another top 5. But luckily, what I did was actually fairly quick, and it worked out for us.
Yeah, so we were watching you, and it looked, from where we were sitting, it looked like you were using the rear brakes to get that truck to rotate in the turns. And that was unique to you. We didn't see anybody else doing that tonight. So kudos to you guys for figuring that out. It was definitely turned out to be the fastest way around here.
Yeah, the thing is just so throttle tight that I knew that I didn't want to be trying to turn left on the gas. So I just I tried the whole method of jerking the steering wheel and trying to roll in from the top and make it rotate in the center. And I could lay down some fast laps. I just couldn't do it the same every time. Well, 1 minute I'd be knocking the wall down, next minute I'm spinning out. So I was like, well, I know I can turn this thing if I put enough rear brake to it. So I just had the brakes roll all the way back to 40%. And then I would just go in there and stab the brake. And then when it turned to where I was pointed where I wanted to go, we'd back down on the throttle. And then at that point, I was just driving straight and not trying to let the front end turn. So like I said, it was what I was most comfortable with, what I was most consistent with. And it just so happened it turned out to be the fastest way too.
Yeah, just curious, do you have a lot of dirt experience?
Not really on iRacing, but I do. I dirt race quite a bit in real life. I've driven modifieds and wing sprint cars and stuff. Be honest with you, I prefer the asphalt racing on iRacing, just because, one, I think I like the technical battle of tire wear and things like that more, and plus I've never really gotten an opportunity to race asphalt in real life, so kind of a new challenge. And I don't know, I guess iRacing, to me, the dirt racing just doesn't quite seem realistic enough for me yet. So I spend majority of my time on the asphalt stuff, but I did use a little bit of knowledge from my real life dirt days to kind of help me with the strategy tonight.
Yeah, the reason I was asking is we noticed you change your lineup, at the perfect time as the top part of the track started to slick up. We noticed you searching around for that grip, whereas some of the guys were continuing to, try to run that same line and, ultimately struggling. So knew you probably had some experience, one way or another with dirt. Just seeing that.
Yeah, I just couldn't get comfortable on the top there at the first of the race. I kind of got worn out more in the heat races than what I expected. And Aaron in the 70 truck, I saw him make a move low, and he there for a second kind of got to my bumper, and I was like, well, look, I'm not putting down consistent laps up top. So I'm going to go down here where there's a little bit more grip, and I know I can make a good lap. I mean, I can make a consistent lap. And if he rolls me on the outside because he's better, so be it. So I moved down, and no one else was really running that line, so it didn't wear out on me, and I could just stay consistent throughout the race.
Awesome. So is there anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Let me first off thank y'all in the booth for broadcasting this. It's cool to go back and watch, and for family and friends to tune in and watch. And thanks for the iROC series for hosting this mini series and giving us guys a shot to get into the big group. And I feel like now that we're probably got a good shot of getting in there, so I'm excited about that. And then I thank my wife and kids for allowing me to come out and play around a few nights out of the week. And then of course Plasming Technology for being on the truck with us.
Absolutely, and congratulations again on the win. But before I let you go, I think we've got one burning question for next week.
All right.
Are you going to play it safe, or are you going to go for that win?
Honestly, I haven't looked at the points yet, but I'm almost positive that it really doesn't matter. So I'm going for it.
That's what we like to hear right there.
Being fast at Bristol doesn't really guarantee you anything there, but I don't know. Let's just let them hang and see who's got the biggest, I guess.
That's absolutely right. What we love to hear. Well, again, congratulations on that win, and we'll see you next week at Bristol.
All right, bud. Thank y'all.
All right.
Let's let them hang and see who's got the biggest.
Yep, the quote of the night. But I believe he won the measuring contest tonight, so has a good shot of winning it going into next week as well. So, interesting night. Wrap up round 4 out of our 5-round series. We head to Bristol next week. I believe the point situation, Carson Conway, who was battling for that transfer spot, did not have a great night. So I believe that gap is only going to grow larger there. But there's always next week. I believe doing some quick math, I believe he still has a shot. But we'll see. It'll be good to see these top 5 guys battle it out. I think they've all pretty much got it. Top 4 have got it locked in. So hopefully we see some good battles next week. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back next week for Bristol. Thanks everybody.